Good morning, everybody. I'm Nikki Stanzione.
And I'm Kristen Van Dyke.
And this is New Mexico Style. Welcome back, Kristen.
Good to be back.
You don't look any older.
Well, that's good, because I left younger.
You left younger?
I'm definitely a year older now.
Yeah, but you had a good birthday, right?
Yeah, it was a great birthday.
That's awesome. Good for you.
It was good to get away for a little mini vacation.
Yeah, and you came back to kind of a little bit of a cooler day, right?
Nice, yes. Well, the weather has been so nice these past few days. We're finally getting a break from that summer heat, and you know what? It looks like we're on our way. We're kind of making that transition into fall, and you know, we're seeing more moisture move in too.
Yeah, the monsoon season really starting to bring a little more rain, which I know I saw you this morning talking about on the news that we're actually getting a little more than we had last year at this time, right?
Oh yeah, we're actually up for the month. In fact, for the month of August, we picked up over 1.5 inches of rain. So we're doing a lot better. So monsoon season, are we gaining some ground? Yes, we are. That is the answer. So average for the month of August is right around 1 inch. And so far we've had 1.5 inches. And last month we picked up about 1 inch too. So we are actually doing right at average, I think, so far for this monsoon season, if not a little bit above average. And the good news is that we're going to be looking at a very active weather pattern for the next few days. That should help us even more. And the National Weather Service has actually downgraded us from a severe extreme drought to a severe drought situation. So we're still in a drought, but we're doing better. We've actually gained a step when it comes to that. And more good news, fall is on the way. Typical monsoon season setup looks like that. You just get that moisture flow from the south. That's the ideal setup. And we've seen that for a lot of the monsoon season this year. But what we're starting to see now are these storm systems coming through and these cold fronts coming through. And so those are bringing in the cooler conditions, and then the storm systems bring in the rain. And the really good part about all that is basically the cold fronts are going to continue to keep going, and over the next 4 weeks we're going to be looking at more and more of that, and that's going to mean cooler temperatures. The storm systems are going to take more of a southerly track because of El Nino, and that should help us catch up even more with the drought.
That's great. Good news. I like to hear good news. I'm so ready for fall. I was saying that to Elias yesterday. I feel like it's, you look so forward to summer, but for some reason the heat has just dragged on. It's just, we're ready for some long sleeves and boots.
I am too. I am with you on that.
Right? Let's check in with our other fashion diva, KRQE News 13 anchor Elizabeth Alvarez with this morning's headlines. Are you ready for the cool down?
No, I was just telling Kristen earlier this morning, I'm kind of sad. I want the summer to kind of stretch out a little bit more. I'm still working on the tan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still working on the tan, and then come fall, the little tan that you do have just starts to dwindle away.
You can lay out till about early October here, I've noticed. So you have a little stretch of time.
Yeah, and then plus I got to go shopping for boots, and you know how that expensive it can get.
Yeah, let's not think about the money part.
Yeah, as long as I can procrastinate it a little bit longer. All good.
We'll try.
Well, happy Tuesday, ladies. Good morning to you at home. This morning, we begin talking about something that has become official to us now. The Department of Justice is asking the Albuquerque Police Department about certain cases. This comes a year after the DOJ said it would consider investigating the police department after all the recent police shootings. The city's chief administrative officer confirmed it last night to us at the city council meeting. So exactly what cases is the federal government asking about? We asked the police department's leaders, and they say they could not recall. What we do know is that a lot of people have recently been complaining about an incident back in May when officers barged into an apartment without a warrant and tased a known drug dealer 4 times. Then there were the more controversial cases that were caught on tape. Some citizens say that something needs to be done about how APD is handling certain incidents.
Are we going to allow that in our city? We're better than that. We have to stand together.
Until the city is in a better
The mayor's office and police chief Ray Schultz don't think it is necessary for the Department of Justice to do any kind of an investigation, but they say they will cooperate if it happens. In just a few hours, we should know if a grand jury will indict a young woman here in Albuquerque who accidentally left a baby in a car, killing him. And surprisingly, we have learned that the woman's lawyer does not want her out of jail. That grand jury has until today to officially charge Sandra Rodriguez Miramontes with child abuse resulting in death after she admits she accidentally left her nephew in a car at a daycare center where she worked. If Miramontes isn't charged, she'd normally be able to walk out of jail, but she is in the U.S. illegally, so immigration will most likely take her to a holding cell in El Paso, Texas. After people are arrested, typically a grand jury has until 10 days to indict them. In this case, Miramontes' attorney wants that time to be a little bit longer. We'll let you know what happens in this case later today as soon as we learn more. Carlos Fierro is set to walk out of prison tomorrow. He is the former attorney from Santa Fe who was driving drunk back in 2008 and hit and killed a pedestrian who was crossing the street. Fierro was sentenced to serve 7 years in prison, but has served less than 4. Now, you may remember last week he made the news for saving a man's life. Fierro was actually on with a work crew and saw a driver had a medical issue and did CPR on that driver and helped to keep the man alive until paramedics arrived. Well, you will soon see more watchful eyes in the village of Tijeras. It has agreed to spend $15,000 on crime-fighting cameras there. Last night, the village council voted to add 5 cameras to the senior center and 4 at Luis Garcia Park. Even though Tijeras is small, the Tijeras mayor says the cameras are necessary because of things that have happened at both places recently, and because, he says, Tijeras is in a busy area between Route 66 and I-40. The cameras will probably get installed this week. It's a massive cleanup that the Air Force has been working on for years. We're talking about the jet fuel plume that's underground near Kirtland Air Force Base. Officials say they are making progress, but the feat has not been easy. And tonight, an advisory board meeting will take place to calm any fears that the fuel chemicals are in any drinking water. So far, they say that tests show that they are not in the production of wells that provide drinking water to homes in the Southeast Heights. The jet fuel is believed to have started leaking back in the 1950s from the bulk fuel facilities on base property. Now, some estimates have the spill at 8 million gallons of fuel over that time. The only successful way they have been able to get the harmful fuel chemicals from the ground is through soil vapor extraction. Now, at the same time, they have drilled additional wells to monitor the groundwater.
There's obviously a fuel plume underground. Unfortunately, we can't see that. So what we have to do is we have to put wells in different places in order to understand where it is and where it isn't.
Pretty interesting. So again, the big thing is that there is a meeting tonight to inform the public of the status and to ease any concerns. That meeting is going to be at 6 o'clock at the Cesar Chavez Community Center, and that is located off of Catherine Southeast. That wraps it up for me. Let's head it over to the style set with Kristen and Nikki.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thanks,
Have
Elizabeth.
a lovely Tuesday.
Thank you.
So we have to tell our viewers this. This is interesting. Michelle Obama is hosting a White House state dinner. Now, she did this yesterday, and the guests of honor were the kids. Mrs. Obama invited the young winners of a contest to create healthy lunchtime recipes for a special luncheon on Monday, and one of those kids was 9-year-old Emma Kenny of Las Cruces.
Oh, and she won a
So
trip.
cute.
Yes, she's so adorable. She won a trip to the White House with her recipe of baked chicken with spinach and nectarine avocado salsa, wrapped in a whole wheat tortilla. Wait a minute, paired with a side salad of black beans, corn, and cherry tomatoes.
Wow.
Doesn't that sound amazing?
Yeah.
So the contest is part of the First Lady's Let's Move initiative to help young people make healthy choices for eating and exercising. We need to get her to come cook on the show.
Yes, yes, we're putting it out there. You're in Las Cruces. Please come on our show. We'd love to have that meal. And I love the fact that kids are getting excited and motivated to cook healthy and to eat healthy and know that it's not a bad thing.
And how neat she got to do that for the First Lady. That's
I
awesome.
know. Good for you. Good for you. I hope you can come on our show. That would be awesome. Now, in July, here's another awesome girl. We introduced our viewers to Miss Outstanding Teen New Mexico. Her name is Natalie Benson, and the Miss New Mexico Outstanding Teen pageant encourages teenage girls to pursue their talents, become positive role models, serve their community, and be young women of the highest character and integrity.
Natalie just returned from the Miss America Outstanding Teen pageant in Orlando, and she made the top 12.
Yay,
so congratulations to her. Along with Teen in Action and America's Choice, Natalie earned $2,500 in scholarship money, so good for her. She's so well-spoken.
Wasn't she?
She's very well-spoken.
I was so impressed with Natalie. She's so classy and sophisticated for a girl her age, and really mature, and just really has it all together. Great example.
She does have it all together. That's a really good way of putting it.
You know, and I was hoping that she would do well, so we're so happy for her. And now she's back to school at Sandia Prep, just like any other teenager. So
all right.
Good for you, Natalie. Now, sources say that rapper Nicki Minaj will join Mariah Carey at the American Idol judges table. This is big news. And according to TMZ, a 5-time Grammy winner, Mariah Carey, is none too happy about this. I kind of don't blame her, Kristen. I mean, this is not what I expected. The deal is not finalized, but the super bass rapper is confirmed to judge American Idol this season. And apparently when Idol producers called Mariah to break the news, she hung up on them.
Right, so she's not very happy about this. Idol sources tell TMZ that Mariah was led to believe that she would be the only woman on the judges panel. So that might not be the case. It doesn't sound like it's going to be the case anyway. Singers Nick Jonas, Keith Urban, and music producer Pharrell Williams are in the running to fill a vacant seat left open by veteran judge Randy Jackson, who may be moving into more of a mentoring role, which is what we were talking about. But
I'm not pleased with any of this news, to be honest with you.
It's going to be so different.
Yeah, you know, I'm such an Idol fan. I've been watching since day one. And I liked the original setup, obviously, the two guys and Paula. I thought that was a great setup. But they've changed it so much, and I thought they finally found their niche. But
I really liked who they had there last year. Yeah.
But how do you do two divas? How do you do Mariah and Nicki Minaj? I just think it is too much.
It might make for interesting TV, though. It could make for interesting TV.
That could be in the back of their mind. I am not enthusiastic about a Jonas brother being a judge on American Idol. Really?
No.
Please, no. Please. I'm begging you, Idol.
I guess they're trying to get the young girl audience.
Yeah, but I think they're going to alienate a lot of the other audience, right?
That's true.
I mean, my grandma watches that show. She won't want to watch Nicki Minaj and Nick Jonas. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Of course, nobody will keep you posted better than we will. Now, the woman known to many as the First Lady of Comedy has died. Housewife turned humorist Phyllis Diller passed away in her sleep Monday morning at 95 years old. God bless her.
Yeah, Fox News correspondent Julie Banderas has a look back at her trailblazing life.
That laugh, her style. And more often than not, the joke was on her.
Things about being in the hospital with the really ugly nurse. But the one that says every time the flowers come, she says, shall we unwrap them or save them for the funeral?
Phyllis Diller was, without a doubt, a comedy legend and a trailblazer. She was born Phyllis Driver in 1917 in Lima, Ohio. In order to support her family in the 1950s, she went to work as an advertising copywriter. She was encouraged to go into stand-up after others spotted her flair for comedy. In March 1955, the 37-year-old housewife first stepped into the spotlight. She began a 2-week run at San Francisco's famous Purple Onion. The gig ended 89 weeks later.
When I was new in the business, brand new comic, you know, when you're new and you're not known and you're not famous, everybody's an expert but you.
In 1961, she made her movie debut in Splendor in the Grass. While in Hollywood, she formed a close friendship with Bob Hope that took Diller on tour to Vietnam.
Yeah, they've been in the jungle too long.
Over the years, Phyllis Diller headlined virtually everywhere in the United States and all around the world. But she never felt it was rough being a woman in the business.
I find that being a woman had nothing to do with it. It's either you're funny or you aren't. If you're funny, they have to laugh. How can they help themselves?
While comedy has changed over the years, Diller's act didn't. She focused on domestic life, while other comics take a different route.
I don't need dirty words, and I don't need clinical humor. I can get that at the doctor's office. When you're inner-driven and you know what you're doing from within, that's when you're good.
Her act involved the kids, the dog, and her husband, Fang.
He's something else. I'll tell you what. In Frasier, you know, there's this Maris that you never see. Okay, so everybody in the world has their own picture of Maris, and it's the same with Fang. He's never seen, I just talk about him, and from what I say, you have a very clear picture of a male idiot.
In 1998, Phyllis Diller took her trademark voice and made her mark in animation in A Bug's Life.
It's the same year after year. They come, they eat, they leave. That's our lot in life. It's not a lot, but it's our life.
I did a cold reading of the Queen. And since I've been a queen for so long, I got it.
In February 1999, Diller suffered a heart attack. She had to have a pacemaker installed. 1 year later, she was headlining at the Stardust in Las Vegas.
There's a lot of kids that think that Stardust is what you get when a celebrity is cremated. So sorry.
In 2007, Diller had a cameo appearance in an episode of ABC's Boston Legal. With more than 50 years in the business, the First Lady of Comedy explained why she kept going.
You can't live on money alone. You have to have excitement and the challenge. And what I do live is truly a challenge. Every show is different, and each one can be better, and that really keeps me interested.
Julie Banderas, Fox News.
What a life, huh?
I know. I love to see that.
What an inspiration. I know Ellen DeGeneres said she was inspired by her. I know she worked a lot with Joan Rivers. And it's like she said, she used the kind of humor people could relate to. It was clean cut. It was just the stuff that just made you laugh.
So just such a long, exciting life that she led. I love to see that part of it.
Me too. And she didn't let anything, stop her or hold her back. And, 95 years, it's a great life. But nonetheless, it's still always sad to lose a legend, or anybody for that matter. So prayers and thoughts, of course, to her friends and family. And we're glad that she leaves her legend behind for all of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. Now, today is your chance to keep it quirky, speaking of quirky people, at the Harvest and Art Fair at Los Poblanos Historic Inn. The fair will showcase locally produced art, jewelry, and food at a special growers market.
Yeah, this fair is this afternoon from 4 until 8 at the Inn and Organic Farm located on Rio Grande Northwest. And it's free. So that's the best part. And the weather shouldn't really be too bad for it.
Good, good. I love it. Have you been to Los Poblanos?
I've not been there.
Oh, Kristen, you have to go. It is just a beautiful place. The last time I was there, I had said it kind of reminded me of Connecticut. Very green, very open, just beautiful. Yeah, head out. So today will be a good day, right?
It will. We'll have to watch for a few thunderstorms. So you may have to dodge a storm or two, but any storms that develop shouldn't last very long. They'll build up, they could dump some heavy rain, and then they'll fizzle out fairly quickly. So we'll be watching for that. But for the most part, what they're going to do is those storms are going to bring in more cloud cover and cool us off for the evening. So just like last night when it felt so nice in the evening, it's going to be the same way today.